as well. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Guillermo Contreras. I'm a physical therapist in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a teaching assistant in the fitness athlete division of the Institute of Clinical Excellence. Happy to be here with you this Monday morning after a really fun morning, get together with the entire ICE crew over the weekend. Some of you might have seen us. Good morning. Good morning. Might have seen us kind of hanging out together, doing a nice little workout, just doing some continuing ed of our own this weekend. And just like all of you, right, we're always looking to get better, always looking to sharpen the knife. And there's no better way to do that than some solid continuing ed surrounded by people who like-minded in the pursuit of hitting the new realm of physical therapy version 2.0. So happy to be back home, though. Always good to be back with my family in Milwaukee, even if the weather's a little colder here than it is where we were. So Monday morning, again, hope everyone had a great weekend, getting the week started right. Before we dive into the topic today, which is titled Imperfect Foundations, not the most clever name, but hopefully it's good enough. Let's dive into the courses coming up. If you've been keeping up with us, you know that we're pretty much done with courses for the year of 2021. We had Fitness Athlete Essential Foundations start up last Monday, and today's our first meeting today. So excited to hit that with a really nice big group of 80 clinicians in Essential Foundations, right? So these groups are getting big. People are all about learning about fitness athletes, getting under a barbell, getting on the pull-up bar, learning how to be the best clinicians they can for fitness athletes out in the world, in the realm of rehab. So we started that up, and that's pretty much it. There is nothing else on the docket for the year of 2021. Starting out 2022, if you've been keeping up again with social media, you see that we have a book schedule. We are coming and going everywhere all over the country in 2022. And starting off the year, if you've been looking to take online courses, I'm just going to dive into a few there. January 3rd, so right, there's the new year, and then boom, we're getting started right away. Fitness Athlete Pregnancy Postpartum Athleticism online. January 3rd, 2022 is when that one starts up. On February 6th, we have Clinical Management of the Fitness Athlete Advanced Concepts. So that starts up in February of 2022. Those courses do fill up. That's an advanced level course. There's a lot more to it. The roster is smaller, so there's a cutoff for how many people can take those courses. If you're someone who's been looking to get the CMFA cert and be certified in treating the fitness athlete through ICE, definitely recommend you jump on that. Get signed up for it sooner rather than later, because you don't want to be on the outside looking in come February. The Advanced Concepts course happens a lot less often, so you're going to be waiting a while if you want to jump in on that one. Modern Management of the Older Adult Essential Foundations is January 5th. That one starts up again right after the new year, I believe that Wednesday. So again, jump in on that one. That one also typically sells out. Not sure how many spaces are left to end that one, but if you've been looking to up your game and treating the older adult, highly recommend jumping in on Essential Foundations in that course coming up right here in the next few weeks. Live courses. Live courses in January. We got a bunch coming in right away. MMOA is going in hot in 2022. They've got January 8th in Fenton, Michigan. They have January 15th in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And they have January 22nd in Powley, Pennsylvania. I think I said that right. So right off the bat, January starts up and boom, you have 3 chances in the Midwest. I think it's technically the south of Tennessee and the east to get to a older adult course. So highly recommend. Again, if you've never been to that one, really recommend it if you're treating any older adult or pretty much anybody, because the principles you learn there you can use throughout any population. But it's just tuned in to older adults and changing the way we see them, we treat them, and kind of make them phenomenal humans. They're all great people, but just it's an awesome mindset and great way to treat. Lumbar Spine is going to be in Greenville, South Carolina at Onward Greenville on January 22nd. And lastly, Fitness Athlete Live will be at PTC CrossFit in Las Vegas, Nevada. I believe that one is with Mitch Babcock and Kelly Benfey. They'll be down there, over there out west together. So definitely check that out. And go just to ptonice.com. Check out all of our live courses and our online courses if you're dying to jump in on a course here coming up in the next several months, weeks, or in the next year, 2022. We're probably going to be near you. If not, feel free to check out how you can host a course near you as well. So The topic today is imperfect foundations. And what I mean by that is when we teach fitness athletes, one of the biggest questions we get, one of the biggest kind of drawbacks or kind of hesitations a lot of individuals come at us with is the idea of, if the movement isn't perfect, if I'm seeing these faults, if I'm seeing this like little bit of loss of stability, if I'm seeing a little bit of a rounded back or a valgus knee force, should I allow people to load it? And I'm specifically talking today about the squat. Too many times people are worried. Like they're like, okay, like this isn't 100% exactly where I want it to be, so we're not going to do any weight. I'm just going to have you do body weight squats to a box or a chair until you perfect it, and then we can start to load it. And I'm here to say, right, and I think there was a fantastic PT on Ice that Mitch and Alan both did back in, I think, October, that covered this idea of we're missing the mark by not loading people, by being so afraid of using load, and by treating people that people are going to get worse. They're going to have more pain, more issues, because we're afraid of making people do work under some different demands, right? And because of that, I think it's really important that for physical therapists, we understand the points of performance. And if you've taken a fitness athlete course, you know we dive deep into these. The squat specifically has points of performance that you can kind of memorize and regurgitate pretty easily. It's feet shoulder width apart, toes anywhere from 0 to 30 degrees toed out. You're going to have your braced neutral spine, which is pretty much across all the movements that you use with a barbell. The hips are going to release down and back. So it's going to be a simultaneous release of the hips and the knees in order to sit down and back into the squat versus sitting straight back into the squat. We have the hip crease hitting below parallel or dropping below the knee. And then we finish the movement with a full extension at the top, triple extension at the top of the hips, the knees, and the ankles, coming to a full standing position. The issue with that is we want you to understand it. We want you to know it, because that's what we want to see the movement become, what we want to see it ideally be, and what we want to demonstrate when we show these movements to our patients, to our clients, whoever it may be. The issue becomes we use that as a marker for load, and that's not necessarily what we want either. And what I want people to understand is we need to know what these points of performance are. And by knowing them really, really well, we can kind of get a better understanding of where we can kind of regress some things or take some things out or make them a little easier or put a little less emphasis on in order to allow someone to start loading, right? We know that you're not going to build muscle mass, you're not going to build hypertrophy or strength unless you're using somewhere around 60 to 70% of 1 rep max, right? Building strength, if the true goal, which I don't know anybody who doesn't have a goal of increased strength in quad or hamstring or hips or low back or upper back or shoulder, whatever it may be, that is a goal that's very common. And if we're actually truly wanting to build strength, build hypertrophy, build mass on a post-operative patient or just someone with pain or someone who's deconditioned and weak, and we aren't using loads that stimulate any type of metabolic stress, any type of metabolic demand or physical stress and demand on tissue that creates strength and hypertrophy, then we're 100% missing the mark. And so many times, because someone has imperfect movement, it makes us or people uncomfortable with the idea of, I can't load this because it doesn't look good enough yet. And there's always the possibility that it's never going to look perfect. It's never going to look good. In the older adult population, more than anyone else, right? Many times their thoracic spines are stiff, right? It's very hard for them to get into a nice fully extended position. They have arthritic changes in their knees, their ankles, their hips that does not allow them to sit hip crease below parallel, or that limits their ability for their knee to track forward very much, or that doesn't allow them to hold a bar on the back of their shoulders, or limits this position here so they're more rounded. Where can we give a little and take a little, right? For me, I typically, if I can teach a nice brace neutral spine, whether the thoracic spine is flexed forward or extended or not, I'm not super concerned about loading someone up. If they can't go below parallel, if they can only squat to 22 inches, I'm going to load them up at 22 inches. We're so afraid typically of loading someone up unless it looks really good. And even younger population, right? Even our middle-aged individuals, right? We look at like workers' comp patients, right? Their bodies get in contorted positions all the time. The likelihood of them being able to keep a perfectly braced, neutral, vertical spine when they're reaching down and doing certain awkward things with heavy, awkward loads isn't really possible 100% of the time. And so getting some slack, right? Giving some space to allow for some variety of movement, some variance in movement, to be able to squat, for example, and letting the body do what it can, and loading those movement patterns up, knowing that, okay, I'm not giving them a 400-pound barbell and saying like, yeah, go ahead and squat. I'm giving them a 35-pound kettlebell and saying, squat to this box. Cool. How was that? Let's go a little bit heavier. Go again. Let's go a little bit heavier. Go again. Awesome. You just did 53 pounds for 3 sets of 6. How's everything feel? Fantastic. 24, 48 hours later. Oh, a little sore on your thighs. Fantastic. That's exactly what the stimulus I want you to get. And then from there, we can progress them more. If they start to get comfortable with that, can we drop it 2-3 inches, right? Can we start to work on that depth and then continue to build upon the other things? If their depth is really good, but their knees cave in, can we change the foot position a little? Can we put something underneath their heels? And can I squat with something under the heels every time you work on strength with that person? Again, far too often, like, well, they don't have the ankle mobility to quite sit all the way down. Okay, can you elevate the heel, and can they squat a little bit lower because of that? Great. Is everything else that you know about the movement standards there, their points of performance? Fantastic. Let them do that, right? Work on that mobility and also work on that strength, and not or. We talk about that in ICE all the time. That's one of our hashtags, right? We want to get stronger and we want to work on mobility. Regardless of who you're working with, what their experience level is at, where they're at as far as their fitness journey, their strength journey, or just their life journey. If we want to get people stronger, if we want to get people moving, we need to be okay with some imperfections in the way they move, and we need to be okay with understanding, how can I modify, how can I scale, how can I regress any of these points of performance to allow this individual to get optimal benefit from my treatment sessions, from our strength session here in this physical therapy session, right? Can I do some hands-on work and then go load them up? Can I give them something under their heels, especially with the squat? Can they sit down onto a box? Can they sit down onto a med ball? Can I control the tempo? Can I give them a way to, again, can I give them something to hold onto, and they sit down and I just strap a heavy weight vest on them, so that way we're not worried about balance, right? They still are using their legs. They can use a band behind the hips to help them sit down and do it, and then stand back up. There's so many ways, and we need to get a little bit more creative as well with these things, because everything's not going to be the same for everybody. Maybe they have one bad ankle. It's okay that one foot is turned out a little bit more than the other, if anatomically that's all that individual can do. But again, if we want to get people stronger, if we want to push them, if we want to make them truly get a benefit from strength exercises, which we know is very hard to do, right? You don't bulk up overnight. It's not just all of a sudden you start lifting weights and boom, you're huge and muscular and strong. It takes a lot of work. It's very metabolically demanding. It's very physically demanding. And we need to understand that allowing for some variance in movement patterns, being okay with things not being perfect, like imperfect, right, movement, is okay as long as we're addressing and maintaining the safety of the movement for individuals, ensuring that they're not increasing symptoms, using that symptom behavior model to ensure that, okay, they did 4 sets of 8. The next day they have other symptoms came on a little bit much stronger. Apologize, dial it back a little bit, see where they're at, and then build it back up. But we need to start with a foundation that you understand your points of performance, what the movement should look like, and then for yourself, understanding where you can dial back some things, regress some of those movements in order to allow people to build up bit by bit by bit to get stronger, fitter, safer, and overall just more independent and ideally off your caseload, right? Get people so strong they don't need you. They give them everything they need to understand how they can build up on their strength, build up on their movement, and know that they're confident enough to live their lives without needing to come to a therapist unless they want to, right? Like make it a choice for them to come see you for movement techniques, for assistance in squatting, for assistance in deadlifting, overhead pressing, everything like that. Not because they need you, because all of a sudden they can't pick a laundry basket up off the ground. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's something that kind of just gets some things stirring in your mind. Again, if you're not sure about regressions, how to modify things, how to change things, please check out the fitness athlete division, right? We talk a lot about regressions, corrective exercises, everything like that, loading principles and progressive overload, modern management of the older adult. Those courses are fantastic, once again, for regressions, for using kettlebells, dumbbells, bands, everything like that to load individuals who maybe have limitations in grip strength or mobility due to orthopedic changes or like lost my mind there. But any type of changes like that, osteo changes. But again, check out those courses. Hopefully we see you out on the road. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. Enjoy your days, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.